education takes money. Money for books, tables, teachers, paychecks, desks, and the school building, lights, electricity. But it also has to do with the kids. If they don't have what they need for a proper school education, that means A, the teachers aren't doing their job, and B, that school is not.
Pay tuition. So do you think, like, somewhere where you wouldn't have to pay tuition, do you think you wouldn't get the best education?
So you need to know that we never refuse a child who can't pay. So everyone who believes in this school can be here, even if they can't pay a lot of tuition.
I think it depends on the public school. Public schools that have an affluent population going to the school and they have the tax money from the county or city, they can have excellent public schools with excellent resources and programs and art and music and gym, and they can have the top line education. Like, there are public schools that are known to be top of the line. I think when there's a school that's in a neighborhood with poverty and the government funding isn't adequate and they're understaffed, they're underserved, right? So then the education is not on par. When I was in schools in southern Baltimore, the teachers were just trying to keep the management of the classroom. They were just trying to keep the behavioral problems quiet, and they were struggling so much. They were one teacher with 30 kids and an assistant, and if a kid is acting out, that puts the whole classroom on pause, which means nobody learns. So I think a lot of children in this school didn't have their basic needs met. They were falling asleep. They weren't fed breakfast. They didn't have proper clothing for the weather. I went to home visits. They didn't have mattresses at home. How could a kid who didn't sleep on a mattress learn in school the next day? I think it's income, and also it's the community cohesion. So if a community gets together, everybody has strengths and everybody has weaknesses. So if people with the strengths would help people with the weaknesses because they felt either moral obligation or they felt a cohesive tie, that they felt responsible for the other people because they're part of our neighborhood, part of our community. So that creates a stronger community. And when the people then get help and they get stronger, they can turn around and help the next person. It sort of goes around and comes around.
Interesting question, because so there's two aspects to your question. There's the Jewish Orthodox community, which I'm part of, and then there's the greater community, whether it be Baltimore or anywhere really. In the Jewish Orthodox community, it's kind of it's set up as a standard, like a given, that you're going to private school. So if you don't have the money to pay for the private school, then the school will come up with the money, which is my job. I'm a fundraiser for the school. So so in that aspect, it doesn't really make much of a difference, because if you have
and this is our ethnography reflection. Our topic was money and income in the Park Heights community. One thing we really did touch on was how money affects education and the resources that people have, and how people are sometimes limited to resources because they don't have the type of money to do certain things that they would like to do, and a community that doesn't really bring things together.
Our main question is how does the socio-economic status differ throughout Park Heights community? Like on the northern side, where the Jewish people at, they mainly get their money from their own. They raise their own money, have their own programs, and on the southern side, they rely on getting money from the city and from the Pimlico racetrack.